What's up, everybody? What do you do when your first round of defense against tough stains doesn't work? Today we're going to show you about the Swiss Army knife in a can that is our Xenit products. So I think we've all been there when you have tough stains that your first line of defense won't tackle. Again, if you get a fresh stain, it's always best to do it right away while it's still damp. You can do it with a basic all-purpose cleaner or even a general upholstery cleaner will take most fresh stains out right away. Now, once you get into more difficult or dried in, buried in stains, you might need to get special tactics to get those stains out. Now, our production team clearly did not skip any steps when making stains for us today, so we'll see how we do. However, one of the things we're going to go into is some of the science within these stains and why you want to attack them in certain ways with certain products. So let's get after it. So today we have a few different stains we're going to talk about and explain the process of evaluating what product you want to use on it and why. So today before you we have peanut butter, we have some coffee and chocolate, we have some more chocolate, and we have gum. And when we're approaching these products, we want to think about what the stain actually is. So things like coffee and chocolate are what we call like tannin stains. Those are naturally occurring compounds typically found in plants, and we want to attack those with a neutral or slightly acidic cleaner. When you think about proteins, we think about the peanut butter. There's also a little bit of a compound stain there because of all the oil and grease that's involved there. So when we think about these three major classes, the protein, the tannins, the greasy, oily, sticky kind of compounds, those are going to dictate different cleaning solutions. So we're going to start with the peanut butter, which again, thinking about the type of stain, we have some protein, we have some fats and oils, complex stain. Typically, if you can get to it right away, wipe the majority of that off. Any type of mild cleaner, mild detergent is going to do a good job if you get to it right away. The stain we have right now has been baked on, dried. There's a lot of it. So you're going to want to try to remove as much as you can again to start. And then we're going to show how our foaming Xenit cleaner, which is basically a strong all-purpose detergent style cleaner, lots of surfactants to help pull those oils and proteins out of that carpet. We're going to try that and show you how that works. Simple process with the Xenit foaming. Again, because there's a fair amount of peanut butter, greasy kind of protein-based stain, we're going to put a fair amount of this Xenit foaming on half of this front quadrant to show you what's going on here. Now again, one of the principles of cleaning products to keep in mind, anything you put on you're going to have to take back out. So if you don't have any kind of extractor or vacuum to pull, wet dry vac to pull some of that moisture out, you're going to have to do that with some towels. So you need a good amount of product to break down that protein and oil, but remember, you're going to have to pull that back out or you're going to have to risk kind of resoiling from leaving those detergents kind of in that carpet. So again, let that foam work in against those stains. The foaming action really helps break that down and pull some of the stains up to the surface. Some techniques to think about with this, remember, because we have a fair amount of peanut butter still there, we don't want to smash it into the fibers. We want to try to help lift those onto your microfiber towel or whatever cloth you're using rather than driving them into the surface. So we're going to kind of lightly pull and roll this up before we get any of that kind of peanut butter too deep into the fibers. So we got the majority of that off. We're gonna put a little bit more of this foam in there to get some of that residue. And now that we've got the majority off, you can get a little bit more aggressive with your cleaning and let some of that friction help break down those soils. You can also use any kind of all-purpose brush. We have a kind of a medium hardness brush that'll help break down as well. At this point, you're basically gonna just blot to pull any excess moisture back to the surface. If you have an extractor, if you have a wet dry vac, now is the time to use it. I would just fill that tank, the hot water side with just water, no solution, and then allow that suction to pull out any remaining soil, any remaining detergent residue, and any moisture back out. That's gonna help prevent some of that resoiling. If you do happen to see soiling happen after this, typically that means there's a little bit of cleaning solution left on, and basically what's happening is, if this is carpet, you're gonna basically be cleaning the bottom of your shoe because a little bit of that residue will clean the bottom and then resoil that area. So get as much of that off. If you'd like, you can also use a damp microfiber to help, again, pick some of that residue back off. But you can see that that product did a pretty good job on nasty, complex soil. So another good reason to use foaming Xenit. We have another complex stain that I've been told is some combination of hot coffee and chocolate, which I guess the idea was somebody spilled their mocha on your carpet. Again, we have proteins from some of the things in the chocolate and the milk, if there was some milk in the coffee. You have the tannins from the coffee. You have protein, coffee, nastiness. Again, we're not gonna wanna use a solvent in that case. We're gonna use our water-based foaming Xenit. Same process. If you can get some of that off soon, do so. This has kind of been baked in, so we're gonna see how this works out. Again, we're gonna try to remove as much of this as we can without driving too much of the stain into the fibers. They did a good job on loading up the stain for this. Yeah, it looks like it's already been driven. So we'll keep working. Again, you don't want to make the problem worse. We'll let the foam do some of the action and try to pick some of that chocolate up, and then I'll thank the production team when we get out of here for their stain level. This level stain is a good example of where an extractor would be an excellent tool. We don't have one here for this example, so what we're gonna do is apply more, dab the excess, and keep working until we get the stain eliminated. Just to show you guys kind of what this Xenit foaming does, this is our kind of pro level all-purpose cleaner ready to use. We're gonna use it on the same kind of stain, hopefully get the same kind of results, and we'll show you how it works and some of the differences. You'll see the spray is a little bit different. It's more of a wet spray versus the foam. There's some advantages and disadvantages there. This is gonna get down into the fibers better than a foam, which tends to sit on top and try to lift things up. So if you have some of these stains that work down in there, this will help penetrate, but then you're also gonna have more moisture to pick back up at the end. Again, this stain would be perfect for Extractor. So you don't want solvents on kind of water soluble stains because they're not going to help pull anything out. Solvent based is great for greasy kind of stains, oil stains, things like that. Anything you can pull up with water, you want to keep it with water based. So tannins are water soluble. So you want like a detergent with a water base on there. And the all-purpose cleaners are great at breaking down some of that grease as well. So some of these compound stains, if you had a lot of milk in your coffee, you also might want to hit it after you're done with like an enzyme cleaner to keep that smell from coming out. If there's any residue, it'll break down those odors. If I had all the tools, you know, that I wanted, I'd probably want to hit that again with some water to pull some of those residues out. But if you're in a tight spot, the Xenit Foaming or all-purpose cleaner will do a great job. So lastly, we're going to try to clean this ancient gum out of this carpet, which I've been told might be as old as 2 to 3 years. That's going to be a challenge. If you get gum, hit it right away. It basically, that's acting like a glue into those fibers. You want to get something that's going to release that. The solvent-based, citrus-powered Xenit is a good example of a product that'll attack that. We'll see if it can handle this 2-year-old gum. So I'm using a stiff bristle brush here just to agitate and try to break this thing up. Yo, Xenit, let's go. Good, so you can see those actually worked better than I even expected. Shout out to Skylar for keeping the hope on some of those stains. I gotta admit, I did not think the gum was gonna come out. That was a good test there, so thanks for that. Again, remember, this is kind of extreme, built-in, baked-in stains that have been there for a while. We're still gonna recommend doing a first-line defense with something like a general upholstery cleaner, things like that. And keep in mind, before these go back into the car, we're gonna let them out in the sun to dry out, make sure we get all that residue off. If there's too much, you can still hose those off, dry them off, continue. If you have an extractor, you can use that. But again, if you get into a spot, you can use these Xenit products to help you out when you're in a pinch. Again, what's your favorite use for Xenit? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.